Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the CineFiles Extended Cut. So this is the show where we break down the biggest stories of the week as covered by WatchMojo's The CineFiles, as well as some other big stories that didn't quite make the cut. So if you like this, be sure to subscribe to Mojo Talks for more. I am Matt, your host, and I got my panel here. We have Justin, Phoebe, and Liam. Guys, how's it going?
I'm very good. How are you?
Excellent.
That was a much more loving introduction to Liam at the end.
Yeah.
Finally.
Can we get that again?
Yeah, I know like third time's kind of a charm, but I was like, you can't keep roasting Liam. Not at the start anyways.
I wholeheartedly disagree.
We'll see how the rest of the show plays out, Liam, so you're not off the hook yet.
I think the fans are rooting for me to become the hero of the show.
Yeah, I don't think so.
We'll see. I don't know.
I've read the comments.
Yeah, they're not nice.
Savage, dude.
All right, guys, so let's start the show off the way we usually do with What You Watch, and this is the segment where we basically talk about what we watched over the week, and, you know, we just want to share it with the panel and you guys listening. So we'll start with Justin. Justin, what have you been watching, my friend?
I'm doing a light MCU rewatch right now. Light meaning I'm only watching the good ones. Not gonna.
So none of them?
So not.
Oh, I'm kidding.
I'm not gonna
see,
tune in
Liam,
for
that's
Thor.
not gonna endear you to our audience. I'm just gonna say that.
Or me.
Fair enough. Not gonna watch Thor: The Dark World. It's not gonna happen. Probably won't. I like Ant-Man. Probably won't watch it. Maybe watch it after Infinity War. There's not that much time between now and Infinity War, so I'm trying to get in the good ones. So I watched Iron Man this week, and that movie really holds up. It kind of invented the modern superhero movie in a lot of ways. Like a lot of the like solo standalone superhero movies that have come out since then have kind of, even Marvel's own movies have kind of just like repeated the formula. And I mean, it's a formula that works and it's versatile enough that people don't seem to notice all that much. So, but just to say, it still holds up. That's a great movie.
It's weird to think about too that like those movies were like, I think Iron Man 1, is it Thor 1, weren't put out by Disney, right? So
no,
like
Paramount.
Yeah, this was before the whole
Disney
acquisition
of Marvel's entire operation, including Marvel Studios. Yeah. But at the time, it was just Incredible Hulk.
It's interesting that like there wasn't that much of a tone change between the Disney releases and
yeah, because they like Justin had mentioned, they found something that worked, and they're like, let's not deviate from this for sure.
And it's cool to look at all the things that have kind of stayed the same ever since Iron Man. Like they really set a kind of comedic balance that has maintained itself over 10 years, which is super impressive.
I have a question for you. What's your problem with Ant-Man?
Oh, I have no problem with Ant-Man at all.
Why do you hate it so much?
It's not that I hate it. It's not that I hate it. I'm really trying to watch the movies that like work as the sequence of events in like the Marvel universe. And it's not that Ant-Man is inconsequential, but it's like it really does stand on its own, which is a great thing like for the movie itself. But when I'm trying to like watch as many as I can fit in, it's not one that's high on my list.
And he's not
gonna
be in. Is he?
Unclear.
Is he one of the characters that didn't get like a one sheet poster?
Good question.
Hawkeye was one of them. That has the internet.
I think he hasn't
buzz,
been in any of the marketing.
I don't think so.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe Ant-Man and the
January.
Wasp will answer some of those questions. It comes out later in the year.
Phoebe, did you watch Ant-Man on the weekend this week? No,
I did not. But I did watch quite a few films. I went to go see A Wrinkle in Time. I spent last week reading the book, and I had finished it on Saturday, and on Saturday I went to go see it. And I mean, hey, like anytime you read a book and then go and see the movie like directly after you finish it, it's going to be a letdown.
Right.
I was really excited because Ava DuVernay was taking over as director for this film. She's the first African-American woman at the helm of a film with a budget of $100 million. So that was really excited. I was really excited for her. But unfortunately, it let me down. I think that there were a lot of things, key plot points in the book that were left out of the film. One thing that I really did like was casting Storm Reed as Meg Murray.
Right. Was this her first movie?
I'm not sure. I have no idea.
Or her first big picture, anyways.
Her first blockbuster.
Yeah.
What a name, too. Storm Reed.
Yeah.
I mean, Reed, because
it's pretty epic.
It's based on a book, which is interesting.
Whoa. Okay, you're blowing our minds a bit too much here,
Sorry.
Liam. Okay. You're at the end of the table for a reason. Keep
quiet.
it.
This is my time. No, it was good. I think that had I not read the book, I would have enjoyed it more.
Right.
I think for anybody who was a fan of the book, would probably feel the same way as I did. There was some questionable casting choices. Things were left out. Overall, an entertaining film.
Yeah.
A lot of children in the theater. I had a young girl put her head right beside mine and start like breathing very loudly next to my head. So that was an interesting experience.
That's
strange.
what kind of theater were you in?
I
if
was
there's someone
just
right,
a regular
right behind you.
old theater.
That was actually part of the 4D experience. That's someone breathing on you to give the sensation of wind.
Yeah.
That was the wrinkle in
just-
time sensation,
Yeah.
Maybe the
actually.
kid
Yeah.
was just so enthralled that they were just like leaning forward.
Yeah.
And I also watched Jumanji. The
The
new
Rock.
Jumanji, The Rock. It's not a remake. It's definitely an ode to the original film.
Right.
Which was what I really, really enjoyed about it. I went into the film thinking that I was going to absolutely hate it because it just seemed like I watched Central Intelligence with The Rock and Kevin Hart, and
right.
I really wish that I had not because it was so terrible.
Yeah.
When I watched this movie, I was pleasantly surprised because one, it wasn't a remake; it was an ode. You know, there was some like Robin Williams tributes in the film, which I really appreciated.
Oh, that's nice.
Because we all miss him very much. And the movie was fun. It was hilarious. It was entertaining. It was everything I wanted from that movie, and it gave it to me. So I was very happy.
I really wonder what happened there, like, because normally like these Rock movies are just churned out and like they're pretty like
He's a busy
one
man.
note kind of
He's
like
the
you know what I
busiest
mean?
man in Hollywood. There was actually a thing that came out last week.
He's got like 3 movies coming out this year, and they're all like.
I mean,
huge.
Rampage and Skyscraper are both coming out very soon.
months.
And
Yeah.
he just adopted a gorilla.
Really?
Yes,
For real?
Because of the film Rampage, he adopted a gorilla.
Oh no! When it like
So-
leaves theaters, he's
Is there
gonna
even
give
a
it up
real
for adoption
gorilla in
again.
that,
What do you do with
Isn't
it?
it all CGI gorillas in that movie?
Yeah, but I guess he had to
Fell in love
spend
with the
time
CGI.
with gorillas. I don't know.
He's gonna give it away when he realizes I actually like CGI gorillas
That's
a lot
it.
more.
He doesn't have to spend time with it.
Yeah.
That's so weird. It's like, oh, I spent a lot of time with a stick and a tennis ball on it, and I
Next
really
in the
wanted
news-
to spend time
next
with
in the news
gorillas
is
after
gonna
that.
be-
Yeah.
He's just a good guy.
Next in the
That's
news is just
thing.
going to
That's
be
it,
The
yeah.
Rock adopts a tennis ball and a stick.
The next headline:
Has someone render
throwing
it in
ball
real
against
time.
wall. Oh my god. Liam, what about you? What have you been watching?
On Wednesday, I went to the theater to see A Quiet Place.
By yourself?
Wow.
No, not by myself, actually, with fellow WatchMojo employee
Oh.
Eric
Eric
Cohen.
Cohen. He's my favorite watch.
Eric
Yes.
Cohen.
Oh,
Shout out. Oh, you can't say that with all of us here,
us here.
Phoebe.
You
We're
guys
all
know
watching
how
it.
I feel.
I get it. I get it.
Um,
That voice.
Yeah, I wasn't too hyped about this movie. Like I mean, John Krasinski before this had only made like indie comedies, so I was like,
Yeah.
how does this guy know horror at all? And I read that like apparently he never grew up with horror. Like all he knows about horror is basically from like Don't Breathe and like a few other like
Really?
horror
So
movies
like
that came out in the
modern
past few
horror,
years.
not
Yeah.
even like 80s
Yeah,
classics
so I
or
was like,
anything
this
like that.
guy's like
Huh.
gonna blow it or something like that. And so like I just found the trailers weren't really selling me that much, but then like I heard like the buzz going into it, and
Yeah.
man, this was like a super intense movie. Like I've never had a theater experience like this where the theater, like the audience right away knows what they're getting into.
Yeah.
Because like right off the bat, it's like everyone is like silent because they're just like so gripped by like what is happening on screen.
True.
And just like super tense. You don't really know silence until you've been in this theater. Crazy.
Yeah.
I did a Mojo at the Movies actually this week. Check it out. I
Oh,
think it'll
Which
plug,
should be
plug
out.
that
I
in.
I directed it, so
Directed
it's just like
and
that would
edited.
be-
It should be out today if you want more thoughts on it.
Well, there you go, guys. Definitely check that out. I felt the kind of the same way about you. Like John Krasinski's, I was like, yeah, he's a cool guy, but like, I didn't even really think of him as like a filmmaker to begin with, and then to like do a horror movie like this, and then all the previews for this was like, oh, 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I was like, wow, are you serious?
Also produced by Michael Bay, so I was like, really?
Yeah.
Is it produced by
Yeah,
Michael
it's
Bay?
produced by Michael Bay.
Damn. See, that wouldn't have
crazy.
helped the cause there for me. But yeah, like the rating really interests me, and then like watching the first trailer and then the second trailer, I was like, wow, this actually looks really terrifying.
I think I watched that first trailer once and then like kind of
Yeah.
went in blind. Yeah, super good, and yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a hot take. I don't really like John Krasinski.
I don't really like him either.
I don't.
But he's
is that
fantastic
like?
in
I
it.
feel like everybody loves him. There's something about him that
It's The
really.
Office.
You know what
It's
it
the
is?
Office
It's his
But his
office like
character in
lookaways.
The
Like
Office sucks. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen these like lists online where it's like reasons why
WatchMojo lists.
No, not WatchMojo lists. Another list. Why Jim sucked from The Office, and I feel like
Oh.
it's the same thing with like Ross from Friends. Like he
Okay.
just like sort of low key sucked, and I feel like I can't separate the character from the person, which is
That's-
not fair because I'm
that's
sure that
fair.
he's a great guy and I really like
Yeah.
Emily
Also,
Blunt.
like Ted from How I Met Your Mother, a little bit, just like that guy that you're
That guy.
supposed
Yeah.
to like. But
Yeah, dude, he sucks.
Yeah, he
like
does
he
suck.
straight up sucks.
Yeah.
It's a weird
Um,
thing with sitcom protagonists.
Yeah.
I have a question about A Quiet Place.
Go
Does
for it.
anyone ever look into the camera a la Jim Halpert in an awkward like, can you believe this guy?
not that
I'll
I
do it
know
right now.
of.
Imagine like
That'd
one of
be
his
incredible.
kids makes a noise and he's just like,
Blank
he's gonna
stare.
die. Yeah,
Anyways.
it's terrible.
Yeah, not without its problems though. There is some story stuff that kind of
Yeah.
gets weird. I thought the third act was a little bit rushed too, but as a whole, like I would definitely recommend seeing it in the theater because it was like one of the most unique experiences I've ever had in a
Cool.
theater.
Definitely gonna check that out.
Nice.
It's
Do
really
it
cool.
in the
Yeah.
theater and bring a blanket or something to hide behind because
Blanket,
you're gonna be jumping out of your
interesting.
seat.
You can hide snacks under the blanket too. Just like I'm
No,
scared.
don't say that
Liam
because
brought
then
a
the theaters are
blanket
gonna
'cause
be.
he's always complaining
Yeah,
about
they're
how
like, no
cold he
blankets.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Phoebe, you'll like this. I was on Netflix this weekend. Yeah.
you were on Netflix.
Yeah, I was on. Yeah, like literally on Netflix.
In a movie?
I was looking through Netflix, Liam. Our audience knows what I'm talking about. But I watched the new like Adam Devine movie that Netflix put out. What was it? The Day We Met. And it's basically Groundhog Day, but like set in a rom-com thing. It's
Really,
just
like the
it's like
exact
time
premise of
travel.
Groundhog
Can I-
Day?
Sorry.
Why have there been so many movies?
I
that
was
have
just
taken,
Yeah,
gonna
like,
say,
I-
how many
right?
movies have you heard in the
Day
last
of-
year
what
where
was
it's
it?
like it's kind of like Groundhog Day, but
Yeah.
and then
Edge of
insert-
Tomorrow.
But not good.
There was also that one with
Happy Death Day.
yeah.
that.
Oh,
There was also-
yeah.
there was also that one with Zoe. Is it Zoe Dutch? That was like last year. I don't know if anybody saw it.
Nobody saw it.
Oh, is
remember,
that the
like,
one, the
maybe
horror
not.
one where she?
I don't think it's a horror. I think it's like a drama or something like that.
Oh, weird.
Anyways.
Yeah, there's
But
been
yeah,
quite a
it's
few.
it's been happening a lot. Yeah, and this one is not good.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
it's fun. It has its moments. I find Adam Devine's like hilarious. But it's just like everything those movies have done, it like had no shame in just rehashing every single thing. It's basically like it's a photo booth that he goes in and he like travels back in time every time to try and like woo the girl he's
Oh, boy.
in love with. Yeah.
I have a question.
And like same twist, same everything. Yeah, if you have a
I have.
go ahead.
Is there any point at which they like point out the similarity to Groundhog Day?
No.
No. Okay. Because
No.
they do that in Happy Death Day, and like that. Like I feel like that's kind
You
of
saw
a
Happy
cheap,
Death Day?
I did. I feel like that's kind of a cheap way of.
Yeah, it's kind of like, oh, we know what
we
we're
know,
doing,
but-
but it's
Bill
like
Murray.
I don't feel like calling out the cliche doesn't necessarily free
Yeah.
you from
Yeah.
being.
but they didn't even bother with that. They're just like,
Interesting.
I feel like week after
Whatever.
week we're just gonna talk about awful Netflix movies that we watched.
they got to get
Hey,
a good
The
one.
Ritual was really good.
Ritual, yeah, fair.
Yeah, The
Veronica,
Ritual was
great
really
too.
good.
Yeah.
What makes me sad is that I'm a huge Workaholics fan, and
Yeah.
Adam Devine is.
He's awesome. He's so
really
cool.
funny.
Yeah.
I feel like his career isn't translating well into film. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
he's funny in the Pitch Perfect movies, but I feel like he's just playing a caricature of himself and like just a version of the character that he plays on Workaholics.
Yeah.
And like Workaholics was so good, and they made a Netflix movie.
Yeah.
I was gonna
The-
say that one I haven't watched yet,
Yeah, that one I might watch.
I
but
feel like-
hopefully better.
I feel like
Yeah.
they just crammed it into movies too fast. Like they didn't really like. He was just like he was nowhere, and then all of a sudden he was just like everywhere.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's true.
It's like people don't even really know his name. If you like walk down the street and like ask someone
Yeah.
like who's this guy, they would be like who?
That's
Like,
true.
I think he
They
does
know
have-
his face, but they wouldn't know his name. You know?
Yeah.
He has comedic chops, but like I don't
For
know.
sure.
I don't know if he's like a leading man in a romantic.
Yeah, that's
For
it.
sure,
That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Remains to be
exactly.
seen. I'm willing to like check it out, but I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's better in a supporting kind of character role. Come in
Yes.
and just do bits.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, well, that was What You Watch, and the next segment we have are the 3 biggest stories of the week, and we're going to jump into that. We're going to jump into that next.
Okay.
All right, so this is the next segment, the 3 biggest stories of the week. This is where we talk about the news that dominated the week this week. So we're going to start off with Woody Harrelson, really good actor, just made a lot of waves with 3 billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri this year. Well, there's some pretty big rumors coming out of the superhero movie world. Apparently, he's going to play Carnage in the new Tom Hardy movie. This has been leaked by bleedingcool.com. So, I mean, this is pretty interesting. That's a big actor to be cast as a villain.
Wait, not the Venom movie, just the new Tom Hardy movie.
Oh, did I not say Venom?
No, but yeah,
Venom.
sorry.
We get it.
I don't
we get it,
Venom,
we get it,
yeah.
we get it, we get it.
Liam, you're embarrassing me in front of our millions of listeners, man.
I think this Venom movie
Yes.
is gonna be fine.
Fine.
I think
Fine.
It's gonna be a very cool, passable, okay movie.
judging by that one Comic-Con live stream, I think it's gonna be bad.
Ooh, yeah, that was kind of
Was the interview thing with the? Is that what you're talking
Yeah,
about?
like
where was he in Brazil, or he was speaking
I
to
think it was
people
like
in Brazil?
Comic-Con Brazil or something like that.
Who was
Yeah.
speaking to people? Tom Hardy.
Tom
No, it
Hardy.
was the director. It was
Oh.
the director, and then Tom Hardy like sneaks up in the background.
Yes.
And is
Yeah.
like, hey, we're making this Venom movie. It's gonna be really good. And then
Yeah.
they like fill in the crowd sounds with like,
Yeah, I
like,
remember
really cringy.
there was one shot, it like panned to the crowd in Brazil, and then there was like cheering, and there was one dude in the front row, and he's just like this, like,
But then the stock,
not
the stock
excited.
sound is just like the crowd going
Yeah, like,
crazy.
oh yeah.
Maybe he didn't
claps.
recognize Tom Hardy because I literally have no idea what that guy looks like.
Yeah.
I've seen him in
What?
so many movies,
Sony.
and I literally I don't even know who he is. Like anytime I would see him just like without a mask on or something.
That's
like,
his
he's
thing
always
now.
wearing
Yeah, he's
stuff
like,
on his face.
I know I'm pretty, but I want to cover that up
He's a
and
bit
just
pretty
make
man.
sure people know I'm a good actor.
You know who always shows their face though is Woody Harrelson, who I'm excited to see in
Thank-
Venom.
Great segue.
Look at you.
Great.
You're gunning for my host job. That was a great
incredible.
segue back into the actual topic. But yeah, so basically, Carnage, for those who may not know, his first appearance was in The Amazing Spider-Man number 344. Did you know this, Justin?
Didn't know this.
I'm sure Justin would
he
know
was,
that.
Yeah. Cletus Cassidy, right? Yeah. And he was a...
Serial murderer.
That's right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So
Yeah.
it's gonna be rated R?
He
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it is.
I hope so.
So,
I'm looking forward to
Carnage is a fan favorite. People love Carnage. Basically, the concept is Venom is kind of an anti-hero at this point in the comics. He's a bad guy, but he mostly just hates Spider-Man. He doesn't want to do harm to people. He just kind of really hates specifically
So
Spider-Man.
he kills people?
No, he does. He just
No,
wants
this
to
is
kill
Venom.
Oh,
Spider-
Venom.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Venom. So later down the line, Venom was introduced in Spider-Man number 300. Later down the line, they're like, what if we had another Venom? People were like, that's a great idea.
Just make him red instead.
Just make him red
Yeah.
and make him the Joker. That was basically the idea. So Cletus Cassidy is an insane serial murderer obsessed with just killing as many people as possible. And now he has a superpowered alien symbiote that enhances his ability and capacity to murder people.
Does he?
And basically,
Oh,
like-
so he doesn't have any motivation other than the
He
fact
just
that it's
murders
just scientific.
Isn't
He's
he
just-
like
That makes
more
sense.
dangerous than Venom too, just because of the fact that Cletus himself is like this insane
He's
psychopath?
deranged.
So like, in addition to this creepy alien symbiote, he just becomes like this.
Superpowered
Exact-
maniac.
yeah.
And in the comics, Spider-Man and Venom had to team up to take him down because neither one of them was strong enough to do it on their own. There was a great arc, debatably great arc called Maximum Carnage in the 90s. Maximum Carnage, where he just killed a whole bunch of people.
So he teams up with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh, so the rumors to Tom Holland maybe
I
showing
don't
up.
think he's gonna be in
Ooh.
it.
There's a lot of contractual kind of ifs there, but wouldn't that be?
So this movie's just going to be a bad guy fighting another, like a worse bad guy?
Yes.
I don't
That's
know.
correct.
I
It's
don't know about
dark.
this.
It's gritty. It's rated R, Liam. It's
Did you
gonna
see all the
work.
posters? They were kind of like hot topic-y, you know?
It just
Venom
looks
is a
like
very
spilled
hot
milk.
topic
Yeah.
character, though.
Yeah. I
Venom's he's pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
He's pretty post-hardcore.
It is it's edgy Spider-Man, and I love Venom. I think he's a cool character. And,
Yeah.
Down the line, there's been a lot of interesting incarnations of that character.
Yeah.
In Carnage, I don't know.
No.
In Carnage.
You tried.
Nice try.
You
Nice
tried.
try. A for effort.
Phoebe,
So-
what do you think of this?
I like Woody Harrelson. I'm excited
Yeah.
to see it. I just recently watched 3 Billboards, and I feel like I had seen the War for the Planet of the Apes with Woody Harrelson in it, and I was very disappointed with the film. I don't know if that's a hot take. I just thought it was really
I think it might be a little bit. People love
People
that,
like that performance.
franchise.
I liked
Yeah.
his performance.
Yeah.
That's not the thing.
Yeah.
I was fresh off watching that, and that was the last thing that I had seen him in, and I had a negative experience in that film just because I felt like it was not a war. It was like a
Right.
sad, slow surrender. That's what they should have called it. But then I watched 3 Billboards, and I was like, oh my God, Woody Harrelson is so good, and he had
Yeah.
like a very short, brief sort of role in that film, but he still managed to snag a nomination, and that's just
Yeah.
like a testament to how good of an actor he is.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm excited to see him again in the role of a villain because I think that he can really pull it off.
That's interesting you mentioned that because online, some people are kind of worried that he's not going to be able to pull this off because Cletus is clearly this crazy psychopath. But I mean, Harrelson does have
He has crazy eyes.
He's
Do
played a
people-
psychopath
Do
before.
people know
that
Seven
he's
Psychopaths.
been in. Yeah.
backstory of like his real life backstory?
Did he kill
Oh,
someone?
this
No,
is
no,
interesting.
He
He killed
comes
some.
from a
Mass
family
murderer.
of like criminals. Isn't his dad his dad was like a hitman or something like that?
Whoa.
This I did not. Is this?
Sorry, I don't know. I don't know if this is breaking news, but
You're lying.
Imagine-
You're
but
making it
guaranteed,
up.
This
Look
is
it up. This is the
interesting
thing.
if this is true.
His dad is like a notorious like I think he's like
Wow.
not
So so the
anymore, but-
haters don't know that clearly, and like just to, I mean, it's not as intense news as what Liam just broke here, but I mean, he's been a bad guy or like a freak, crazy person in Natural Born Killers and Seven Psychopaths. So I mean, he has that repertoire, if
he's
you will.
fantastic in Seven Psychopaths.
Yeah, he's really great. And
Yeah.
I think, you know, it's interesting to see him get into these big blockbusters. He's going to be in Solo in a few months.
True
Oh,
that.
yeah.
So,
True.
listen, I mean, he's making that money. Good for him.
Anybody
Yeah.
Proud
who's
of
saying
him.
that they don't believe that he could bring in a good performance, you don't know what you're talking about.
That's a wild take to be like, I don't know
Yeah.
if Woody Harrelson can pull it off. I don't know what that can, you know, accurately describe.
Those
like,
I'm sure those people that are saying that have only seen him in Cheers.
In
That's the only
Cheers,
thing
yeah.
you've seen him in.
Yeah.
That guy from Cheers is gonna be Carnage? No way.
which
Not my
does,
Carnage.
does sound ridiculous when you think about it, but
Yeah, but
he's
like,
come a long
his
way.
performances
How
since then
old
have
is
been.
he?
That's a good question.
Got to be in his 50s.
Early
Look, he's
50s?
so
Probably
youthful. He has a youthful
51.
glow.
He does have a youthful
It's
glow.
his, I love him. I
his-
love him.
He's kind of
Yeah.
looked the same, like for 20 years at this
I feel like
point.
he'd be cool to hang out with.
Yeah.
I'd hang out with Woody
You know what? I
Harrelson.
was actually having a conversation with someone, and I was saying, who would you pick to be in your Hollywood crew? And
you picked him?
I picked him.
Whoa,
And I also
okay.
had a few other
Yeah.
picks, but he's the most important one.
I think
Yeah,
that's
he
a
was
solid,
in my crew. Yeah.
solid
Not
pick.
Vin Diesel?
Vin
Diesel.
Diesel.
Was,
Wow.
He was also in my
Where'd
crew.
that come
He did
from?
Serenade.
Was he really Vin Diesel? What?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. Let's just move on.
You play D&D with Vin
Interesting.
Diesel. He's a big D&D
That's
fan,
it.
so
He's
there
a
you go.
huge D&D
Oh.
nerd,
Yeah.
and that's why I want to hang out with him.
So consensus: Woody Harrelson can
Yeah,
pull this
and
off.
I'm down.
Hell yeah.
Do we think it's going to be a good movie?
No.
Remains to be seen. I hope it will be.
I think
I
if it
always-
is, it's carried by those two actors.
I want every comic book movie to be good. I just
Do we-
know that they kind of.
I love that that's a question. Do you hope it's a good movie? No, I hope it's a bad movie.
Yeah.
Did I say hope? No, I said do you think?
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
I guess
sorry.
that's what I
misheard.
meant if I said hope.
God, shut up.
Do
Liam.
we think? Okay. So the next big story was Guillermo del Toro, coming off a really big award season as well. He signed a really massive deal with Fox Searchlight recently, who distributed The Shape of Water. So basically, X number of his future films will be distributed and produced by Fox Searchlight, which is, you know, congratulations to him. He found someone who he can work with, have creative freedom. Yeah. And the interesting thing about this story, I feel, is they've given him like carte blanche on this new label. So it's going to be an offshoot of Fox Searchlight, but it's going to focus solely on horror movies and genre movies, which I think is super awesome. So what do you guys think? Phoebe, I know you're a huge Del Toro fan,
I'm
so
a
what do you
huge
think
Del
about
Toro
this?
fan. I'm really excited about this news. I think that we're sort of seeing a shift in what stories are being told. And when we did our post-Oscars panel, I was really excited that this sort of, weird sci-fi film was being praised so highly.
Yeah.
And I think that I'm really, really excited to see more films of that genre, just because I think, like I said, it's a testament to this cultural shift in Hollywood and how, you can make a little film that's sort of like a weird story that's not like a blockbuster,
Right.
not a historical drama, and still, get like the highest accolade. And I'm really, really happy for him. I'm a huge fan. So if you're watching, he's not, but
that leads pretty good into my next question is, do you think with this deal that Del Toro will help kind of catapult genre films into the mainstream? Because genre films have always been kind of notorious for branching out of their niche audience. So do we think this is going to kind of...
I like listening to Del Toro talk almost more than I like his movies. He is
awesome
such
in
a
his
passionate
speeches.
guy about genre film and just film in general. Yeah, I think this is a huge deal, and this is going to be Fox Searchlight for me was A24 before A24 existed.
Yeah,
and I remember
I agree.
every time
Yeah.
I saw Fox Searchlight, I was like, man, this is going to be interesting. But I'm interested to see how this is going to tie into the Disney deal, because I think Disney's going to own Fox
Oh,
Searchlight
that's
too, right?
interesting, eh? Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah,
This is
I would
huge.
assume with a name like Del Toro, they'll just let him do his thing.
Yeah,
It'd be
he's-
weird for them to kind of inject themselves and be like, "Hey, we know
Yeah.
you've been given this whole label to start yourself, but we want you to do it this way and that way."
It could be
X, Y, Z.
It could be a sign of the amount of autonomy Fox Studios is going to have within Disney if they're already signing
That's a
and
good
giving
point.
people labels. I
They're
mean,
still
it could-
making big moves.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it could,
true.
Yeah.
It could, they wouldn't be doing that if they were mandated not to.
Yeah.
So it's a good sign moving forward that Disney's going to let Fox Studios be its own entity, kind of the way that Lucasfilm and Marvel Studios have operated under them, with very little interference as far as.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I think every creator has said so far, is that when they're dealing with a Marvel project, they're dealing with Kevin Feige, who's been part of the Marvel process since Iron Man. It's not like you're getting Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, coming down and being like, you need to, here are some notes. They do, to a certain extent, let the studios manage their individual projects.
But I think they're still working under a Disney model, kind of, where like everything is based around this idea of like merchandising, and you know what I mean? I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's fair. I mean, you're not wrong in saying that, but that's a big part of the reason, like, the properties that they've bought have lent themselves well to that. Like,
I guess,
they bought Marvel and they
like,
bought Star Wars. But I don't think they're buying, like, Searchlight. I don't think they're going to be like, all right, can we get action figures of the Fish Man?
Yeah, but that's what I was thinking.
What I think about this sort of conversation that we're having is that Del Toro is a filmmaker who has like the utmost integrity, and he seems like the kind of person who would never ever accept, sacrificing the quality of a film to make it more of a commercial blockbuster.
Yeah.
And there was a story that was making the rounds at one point about Pan's Labyrinth, that the film was in Spanish, and they said, we'll give you tons more money if you make it in English. He said, no, this is my story and this is the way that I want to tell it. I think that is a testament to his integrity, and I think that he would not be the kind of person who would say like, oh yeah, let's throw in like Mickey Mouse in a random film.
I think Del Toro like really knows how to work the Hollywood system. Like,
but I also think that that's just like the level of respect that like Fox Searchlight obviously has for him and his vision and
I'm
his
sure
like
he's worked
creative
with them
freedom,
before in the past, right?
Yeah, that's it. So I mean,
I wonder if he'll be able to like siphon off some of that respect and autonomy to other filmmakers under this new label, because for something like this, you have to assume that a lot of these filmmakers will be either first-time filmmakers or up-and-coming filmmakers that have made one or two small projects.
Yeah.
And it's a tough sell for a studio. Like, keep in mind, Fox Searchlight, it's still part of a major studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tough sell for them to give them the kind of carte blanche that a Del Toro gets when he wants to make his fish movie,
I'm sure.
Stop calling it a fish movie.
It's a fish movie.
I feel like with this
it's
deal,
a beautiful fish movie.
I feel like with this
Sexy
deal,
fish.
20th Century Fox or Fox Searchlight is basically trying to make their Blumhouse, maybe, in a way.
As they should be. Everybody should be trying to make their
Exactly.
Blumhouse,
It's like they've perfected movies.
low budget movies. Like, just make a ton of them, and some of them will make a bunch of money.
I have faith.
Yeah. So I guess maybe the biggest story, I mean, it's another superhero one. And
That's
actually
right in my wheelhouse.
Yeah. I was going to say, you've been prepping for this one,
Stop
Justin.
catering to Justin.
Well, Justin's my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can't you
sorry.
tell?
I'm joking. You're all
We're
my
on this side of the
favorite.
table.
Liam's my least favorite.
I'll host a show.
You guys all are at least
I think we
favorite.
can
I'll
all
host
agree.
my own show on this side of the table with Phoebe, and then you.
No.
No, it's too
I'm
confusing. Too many voices crossing. So basically, if you haven't guessed, guys, I'm talking about Avengers: Infinity War. It's coming out at the end of this month. Super hyped. I mean, it's the most ambitious crossover event in history, right?
I thought this
Other
was the
than
most.
Toblerone and Terry's Chocolate Orange.
Those memes have been incredible.
That I think that was my favorite meme of the bunch. But yeah, basically the Russo brothers, the duo who directed this movie, they're freaking out that spoilers are gonna leak before the movie starts, as it starts, and just ruin it for everyone. I mean, this is not a new story, but I mean, they're always worried spoilers are gonna be leaked.
So they're worried that when the movie comes out, that people are going to be talking about the movie
prior to the movie's release, because they're doing press screenings and stuff like that.
Do they really?
But it's interesting because even their press screenings, some of them they're gonna limit like what they actually show. So some of it is just going to be like snippets, some of it's just going to be like scenes, some of them aren't even going to be full screenings.
Parts of the movie.
Yeah. I know, right? But
trailers, Liam. People love watching parts.
I don't watch trailers.
There you go. But yeah, so they freaked out. They went to Twitter and like posted this letter, basically urging fans and like press, "Hey guys, please don't leak out anything. Respect your fellow person.
Respect your elders.
Yeah, respect your elders, your
P's and
youths.
Q's.
Yeah. So basically, and they posted on Twitter and they had like the gauntlet there, and it was all fun and games. But they're pretty worried. So. I mean, there's really no chance, right, that this is not gonna get spoiled. At some point, something's gonna leak.
This whole letter thing, very strange to me.
I don't like it.
This whole thing is very weird.
It's almost a call to be like people are gonna read that, and kids especially, I feel, and they're just gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm totally gonna do it.
But it's also like as if like this movie's gonna get spoiled for people. Like people are still gonna go see the movie. Like it's not gonna.
It's just
I
an
got spoiled for me. I'm not
annoying
gonna go
thing
see
that
it.
they did,
Like,
Could
you
you?
know?
Yeah.
It feels like a weird PR move, and I'm not even sure what they're trying to communicate by it, because it's not like anyone who was planning on spoiling the movie is going to be like, man, but those directors, like, they told me not to. I really have to take that into consideration. Of course they don't want you to spoil the movie. Like,
they're appealing to their conscience,
it's
you know,
very
their
weird.
human spirit.
You know what, Russo brothers? Because you came out with this letter, I'm not gonna see the movie anymore.
This is my
hot take. No.
this is my read.
Asylum.
This is my read of this letter. Is basically it's a hype. I mean, not that this movie needs more hype, but it's basically like something in this movie is so shocking.
I know what it
you're
is.
gonna want to spoil it. We all have our guesses.
I know what it's gonna be.
I mean, the big guesses are that there'll be multiple.
This plot is so unpredictable and crazy.
But like, how unpredictable?
But
is it
that's
gonna be,
what
you know
I was
mean?
thinking too. It's like, I mean, you're obviously gonna fight Thanos, and I mean, we're gonna expect some people to die
Yeah.
because a lot of people's contracts are coming to an end. Why are you smiling? You know who dies?
I don't know who
Do you
dies,
know the
but-
Russo brothers?
But
Yeah.
this is the whole thing that's going around the internet, is that Captain America's gonna die.
Yeah.
And I know that you had your own theories on the panel that we did about
Yeah, talking about Infinity
Yeah.
War.
Let's get
theories.
into theories. Yeah, I mean, I'm worried Cap's gonna die, especially that scene in the trailer where he's like one-on-one with Thanos, and he's just like holding.
That's it, man.
I mean, like
He might just get smushed, man.
most of these characters have been in Marvel Cinematic Universe for long enough where it's like
It's since the beginning,
they've
right?
got to die at some point.
Yeah, I think Iron Man and Cap are not safe.
Or rest in
Yeah.
peace.
But they
And,
don't
like-
want to do the movies anymore. Like,
sure they don't. They've
they're
been-
sort of
Yeah, I mean, Robert Downey's too busy doing Dr. Doolittle now. You know, he's got a new franchise.
I don't think
to
they can
worry
afford
about.
to keep Robert Downey Jr. Like around anymore. Like,
Afford?
well, just because he
Do you
takes
know
up
it's
such
Disney,
a big
they've got
chunk of the
unlimited
budget
money.
every single time. He just shows up for movies, and they have to pay out like.
But they've got unlimited money. I'm sure they like.
Yeah, but even people with unlimited money don't like spending money. You got to keep in mind that, like, you know, they can pay people a lot less to do what Robert Downey Jr. ends up. And, like, he's an essential part. We've talked about it already in the podcast. He's an essential part of the universe. And I kind of see in the comics right now. I love when we get into comic talk.
But this isn't a podcast about comics.
In the comics right now, Tony Stark is dead. And he has been replaced
Spoilers!
by a artificial intelligence
Spoilers!
of Tony Stark, who is
Jarvis?
is exactly Tony Stark. He has all the quirks and like comments, and I feel like that might be a possibility of, like, maybe not him dying and coming back as an AI, but him taking a back seat.
Okay, so those were the three big stories of the week, but you know, sometimes we can't fit everything we want into those three stories. So this next segment is the cutting room floor. We're going to talk about a few other ones that didn't quite make the cut. All right, guys, welcome back. So this is the cutting room floor, and one of the stories that didn't make it is a pretty interesting one. So there's a petition online right now. It has a ton of signatures, and it's to get Meryl Streep to play Princess Leia in the upcoming Star Wars movies. First of all, a two-part question for you guys. One, what do we think of this? And two, Mark Hamill is not on board with this. He does not think Meryl Streep should play her. Do you agree? Let's start with Justin. Justin likes Star Wars. I mean, we all like Star Wars, but Justin, let's start with you. Yeah.
Love Star Wars. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this. I think
It's weird, right?
I think you unfortunately just kill the character off screen.
Yes.
I don't really want to see, and I don't think they will. I think they've gone out and said that they're not going to have any kind of, like, digital doubling or face adding or anything like that. I think it's a real tragic thing that happened, and I don't think people want someone else to just fill in the roles for the sake of the narrative.
Yeah.
I think it's an inconvenience, but ultimately it's not. The real sad thing is that we lost someone, and that person was, like, a real spokesperson for mental health.
Yes.
And I don't think it's, like, fair to her memory to be like, well, the show must go on. Let's get Meryl Streep in there.
No.
I don't
I
think
agree.
that's the right way to go
I
about
think
it.
what they should do is just do a time jump between what was it, the 8th one and the 9th one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
actually
it
a
seems like what they were.
That makes sense.
What I thought was implied was that like that last shot of The Last Jedi was like this kid is gonna be like play a big role in the next one. No, that's what I thought.
I don't know. I read
know
it
about
more
that.
just like the
You were
Force
on
is
a
alive.
roll. Yeah.
I was hoping so, but
Yeah.
Other
and,
people
like,
think it's going to be
hopefully that's going to imply that like this generation of children is going to become, you know what I mean? That's why I think the time jump is like kind of implied.
Yeah, a lot of people think that kid is going to be like the star of the Rian Johnson trilogy of movies. I don't know about
I
that.
don't know about
That's-
that.
But
Yeah.
regardless, like I think a time jump would actually solve
And,
that
like,
problem really well.
Especially like it would fit in with the themes of The Last Jedi because like there was like a big importance placed on those kids that were like
Yeah.
that who was it? That Poe? No, Finn. Sorry, Finn was.
Don't get it twisted.
Communicating with or whatever. I can't remember what.
Finn and
I
Rose,
haven't
when
seen
they-
it since.
Just
Yeah,
never mind.
Finn and Rose go to that
Liam,
planet, and they're
cover your
like,
face.
you know, we're with the Resistance, and it gives the kids a little bit of
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
hope.
So
I
like
feel
make
like
those
I-
kids the stars of the new one.
No, I don't think so. I think that like those kids were just like a symbol that like
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
there are more Jedi out
Yeah.
there. You know what I
The
mean?
Force
I
is
think
strong
that's
in the
it.
Exactly.
universe.
And like just to sort of speak to like the memory of Carrie Fisher,
Mm-hmm.
like I really I don't think that they would ever do that because I think that she was such a huge part of the franchise and such
Yeah.
like, you know, like a shining light in like, you know, that whole process. And
Yeah.
it's just like really, really sad that like people think that she could just be so easily replaced. Like, you know, not that they think that, but that they would want her to be replaced.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
And it's just like, you know, she's the one and only. She's iconic.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
and
it.
like I feel like you said, it would be a good idea to do like a time jump, but like those kids are not gonna be like the star.
Okay, well, maybe not. Maybe not.
Ray
that.
is the star of this movie.
Raise the star.
I just also
yeah.
feel like Meryl Streep is such like an. I don't want to say obvious pick because like, but it's just like people jump on it because it's like. It's
Yeah,
like, is
I
it
mean,
the only actress you know that's like of age.
but you know, I mean, like
Yes.
in the scenario, if like let's say a gun to anyone's head, like if you had to recast her, I mean, she's a pretty good option. I mean, she's the greatest actress of all time.
No
But
one would put a gun to your head and be like, replace Carrie Fisher.
maybe all the people,
Some
with the
maniac.
signing the petition, they're like, "Gag Meryl Streep now, do it."
It would just
Yeah.
take me out of it would just take me out of it because it'd be
Yeah.
like that's Meryl Streep.
Oh, for
you know?
sure, yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah,
She's very much like an iconic actress, and I don't think that what we're saying at all is like a testament to her acting abilities. It's more that like
Oh, of course,
she's
yeah.
Meryl Streep, and she's Meryl Streep. She's
Yeah.
not Princess Leia.
That's
you know
it.
what I mean?
She's
Like,
not Carrie
it's-
Fisher.
It's not a character that could be easily
Yeah.
recast.
She's good in the one Oscar bait movie she does a year, and that's about it.
Ooh,
Nice.
Whoa.
Dang.
Sorry.
Spicy.
What
Mamma
about
Mia.
Mamma
Mamma
Mia?
Mia 2. Come on.
Mamma Mia 2. Here we go again.
Who's gonna replace Meryl Streep in Mamma Mia 2?
You know she's in the new season of Big Little Lies.
Yeah.
yes,
very
that's
excited
true.
about
That's
that.
TV though.
I
Yeah.
think. Thank you, Liam.
That's TV.
I think it's important to point out also that of all the like characters from the original trilogy that returned to this new trilogy, I feel like Princess Leia and Carrie Fisher's performance was like the most interesting. Like I really like what they did with Mark Hamill. Han Solo showed up and he was Han Solo. Not much had changed for him very much.
Yeah.
But when you finally see Leia in The Force Awakens, like she's such a different character. She's so like
Yeah.
she
She's
really
very
wears
commanding,
she wears like the scars of like all those years of fighting on her performance.
I'm
Like
getting
it's,
like chills
Yeah.
just thinking
She's
about
like
I
it.
was
really-
like, damn,
uh,
that was
it-
very poetic.
it's
man.
really
That
an
was-
underrated like comeback, and it's not the one that people were excited for. I think when they came into it, they're like, I want to see what Han Solo is doing. I want to see Luke Skywalker. But then you see Leia, and she's the general of this army, and like everyone looks at her like a war hero, and
Yeah.
she just like looks exhausted, but also like continuing on, like fighting through. It's just like an incredible facial performance. She's like,
yeah.
Yeah.
just
Just
really, really sad that we lost
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
for sure.
Last question on this topic. Obviously, all these people signing the petition think that this is a good possibility. Do you think that Star Wars and Disney are even like contemplating this?
No.
No.
I don't think so at all.
No.
I'm sure.
No.
I'm sure whoever's J.J. Abrams probably has his vision in mind, and I'm sure it's not even close to what these people are thinking. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like it's not like they're gonna. J.J. Abrams is like seeing this news and being like, "Oh, guess we got to get Meryl Streep in there."
I think The Last Jedi definitively proved that Lucasfilms and the creative forces behind Star Wars don't give a crap
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
fans think about like how the story should progress, and I'm okay with that. I'm very okay with the filmmakers dictating the
Absolutely.
narrative versus like,
Yeah.
creating it by commission from the fans.
Yeah. So just to quickly wrap up here, we're kind of running out of time. Thanks for listening, guys, by the way. So new releases, we got a little comedy called Blockers, which looks pretty funny.
Yeah.
And we also have the film that Liam saw, lucky
see
enough
it.
to see early, A Quiet Place.
Go see it.
Just quickly, what do you guys think of these think of both these movies?
I'm excited for Blockers. I'm a huge Ike Barinholtz fan. I feel like people were sleeping on him for so long.
Yeah.
John Cena.
I am a Mindy Project fan, which is television, so we can't talk about it. But
No go.
But Ike Barinholtz, very excited. John Cena is also in this film.
Yeah.
He is a gem. He's
Yeah.
wonderful.
He
I'm very
butt
excited
chugs in
for
this
it.
one, apparently. That's
but also
interesting.
Leslie
Mann,
Leslie
yeah.
Mann is in it, and she's really funny.
hilarious.
She's
I think
underrated.
the cast
I
is
love
stacked,
her.
and I'm really excited
Yeah,
to see it.
yeah.
a
People
fun
are kind of
concept,
calling
too.
it. Yeah, people are kind of calling it like the Superbad and the American Pie for
The female,
females
yeah.
of this generation, which is pretty cool. And A Quiet Place, we talked about A Quiet Place, so I think
see
we're
it.
all pretty stoked to see that one.
Yeah.
So that kind of wraps up our show, guys. So thanks so much for checking out the CineFiles Extended Cut, and be sure to subscribe to Mojo Talks, and you can find us on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. So for me and my lovely panel, thanks. We'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.
See ya.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our Mojo Talks YouTube channel for the full episode of the CineFiles Extended Cut. Link in the description below.